Hello everybody, it's Crystal. So today I have a stitch tutorial for you, a very easy one, a very beautiful one, and it is a very simple 2-row repeat. This is the open shell stitch, so it's very similar to its cousin, the closed shell stitch. So it just has a bit of a interest here in the shells being a little bit more open versus the other one, but it's still a pretty solid stitch, and it is the same on both sides. So the sides, they stay nice and straight, as you can see, and the top you can even up with just a row single crochet up there. Be sufficient enough, I think, to even that up if you wanted it to be even. Yeah, like I said, very nice. It has a little bit of a texture, having the shells open a bit with the chain one in between. You can see that it's a bit textured, more textured than the regular solid shell. It's very pretty, very pretty stitch. Great for blankets, scarves, shawls, whatever you want. I think this stitch makes a beautiful baby blanket myself. Now remember, this is just a stitch tutorial, so I'm going to be teaching you how to do the stitch. And if you will need to know how to single crochet and double crochet. That's all that is involved with this stitch here. And then think of all the beautiful things that you can make with it. Alright, I'm going to set this to the side. Now the yarn that I used for that particular swatch was Caron Simply Soft, which is a medium weight number 4 acrylic in the color Victorian Rose. And with that particular yarn, am using a size H, which is a 5mm crochet hook. But you can use whatever yarn and whatever hook, depending on what project you are doing. So this is a 2-row repeat, and then it's worked on a base row of single crochet. So the stitch multiple for the open shell stitch is a multiple of 6 plus 2. Now what that means is you need to chain whatever you're making, if you're making a blanket, or chain in 6s. So just 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 until you get your chain as long as you want your project to be. However many inches you want your blanket to be, however many inches you want your scarf to be. Like this would probably be good enough for a scarf, but chain in 6s until you get to your desired size of the project, and then you add 2 more to your base chain. So for my particular little swatch here, I've chained 26. 24 is my multiple of 6, and then I added 2 more for a total of 26. Now once you get your chain made, we'll go ahead and start row 1 by doing a single crochet in the second stitch from our hook. Remember, we never count the one that's on our hook. So 1, 2, in that second stitch we're going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to work across, and we're going to put 1 single crochet into every single stitch for the length of the chain. So row 1 is just a row of single crochet, 1 single in every stitch until you get to the end of the row. Alright, once you make it to the end of row 1, we will go ahead and we will start row 2. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work. Now that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. It doesn't count as anything. So we're going to go back into this very first stitch right here, and we're going to work a single crochet. Just like that. And now we're going to start the repeat of row 2. We are going to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and in the next stitch we're going to be working our open shell. And I'll show you how easy that is to do. So you skip your 2, and in the next one we are going to do 1 double crochet, and then we're going to chain 1. And we're going to go back into the same stitch and do another double crochet. So that's 2 doubles we've done, and then we chain 1. Again, another double crochet, so that's 3 doubles, and we chain 1, and then we do 1 more double crochet into that stitch, and we do not chain 1 after the 4th one. So the open shell for this particular stitch is 4 double crochets and a chain 1 in between. So there's 4 doubles and 3 chain 1s, and that is the open shell. And then we are going to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and in the next we single crochet. And that is the repeat for row 2. So again, we'll skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and in the next one we're going to do our open shell. So we're going to double crochet. After we skip our 2, we double crochet in the next, chain 1, then we go back in and double crochet again. So that's 2 doubles, and then we chain 1, go back in it again, and double. That's 3 doubles with the chain 1, and then 1 more double crochet. So that's a total of 4 double crochets and 3 chain 1s, and that is our open shell. Then we skip 2, skip, skip, and single into the next. And we will just keep repeating this until we get to the end of our row. And you should be able to end on a complete repeat of a single crochet into your very last stitch. So we'll skip 2 again, skip, skip, and we do our open shell into the next. So we double crochet, chain 1, again, same stitch, double crochet, chain 1, same stitch, double crochet, chain 1. So we have 3 double crochets with chain 1s in between them, and we just put 1 more double crochet, and that is our open shell stitch. Skip 2, skip, skip, and single into the next. So I'm going to go ahead and keep repeating this pattern until I make it to the end of row 2. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 2, and I just did my open shell, and I have 3 stitches left. So I want to skip 2 and end with a single crochet into my very last stitch. That ends row 2, and now we can start row 3. So rows 3 and 4 are the repeat rows for this particular pattern, and they're actually pretty much the same except for the way you start them and the way you finish them. Other than that, it's pretty much what we just did here. It's a very, very easy stitch to do. All right, so row 3, we will chain 1 and turn our work. That chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So we're going to go back into this very first stitch, and we are going to work a half open shell. And what we're going to do for that is we're going to work 1 double crochet into that stitch. We're going to chain 1 and go back in and work 1 more double crochet into that stitch. So that's the half open that goes on the ends when we do this row. 1 double, chain 1, 1 double into the very first stitch. And now we will start the repeat of row 3. So we're going to single crochet in the middle chain space of our next open shell. So we had 4 double crochets and 3 chain 1 spaces is how our open shell is made. So you find that middle chain space and you put a single crochet into it. Just like that. And then you want to find the single crochet from the previous row, which is right down here, and we're going to do an open shell into that single crochet. So right down here, we're going to make our open shell. So we're going to double, chain 1, go back in, double, chain 1, so that's 2 again, double, chain 1, that's 3, 1 more double, and that is our open shell. And that is the repeat for row 3. So here we're coming up on an open shell from the previous row, so you need to find the middle chain space of that open shell and go right into the chain space and single crochet. And then we follow down, you find the single crochet from the previous row, and in that single crochet gets an open shell. So this is the repeat for row 3. We open shell into the single crochet from the previous row, and then we put a single crochet in the middle chain space of the shell from the previous row. And we want to do this until we get to the end of our row, just like that. And then we find the middle chain space right here and single crochet. All right, now I'm going to repeat this and I'll meet up with you at the end of row 3. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 3 and I single crochet there in the middle chain 1 space of that last shell. Now we're going to end the row the same way we started it, with the half shell, and we're going to do that in this single crochet down here. So we're going to go into that and we're going to put a double crochet, chain 1, and then another double crochet. That is the half shell, and that's how you end row 3, and every time you repeat row 3. There it is. Okay, let's go ahead and start row 4, which is the final row of the repeat, which is very similar to what we just did. Only this time we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and turn our work. And we're going to start with a single crochet this time and end with the single. So we're going to go into this very first stitch and single crochet. We do not do anything in this chain 1 space, okay, or anything with this double crochet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find this next single crochet from the previous row, which is right here, and we're going to work our shell into that single crochet. So it's just like the previous row. We're working an open shell into every single crochet from the previous row, and we'll be working a single crochet in the chain 1 space, the middle chain 1 space of the shell from the previous row. The only difference is the way we start and finish the rows. Okay, here we are at a shell from the previous row. So in that middle chain 1 space, we single crochet, and we are going to repeat this. Find the next single from the previous row. There it is. Shell into that one. And then we single crochet into the middle chain 1 space of the next shell. And we're going to go ahead and repeat that until we get to the end of the row. And as you can see, it kind of makes the shells catty-cornered from each other, or they kind of interlock with each other. All right, I'm going to see you at the end of row 4. All right, I'm coming to the end of row 4, and I just did my shell, and I'm here at the end. And what we want to do is we just want to end in a single crochet into the very last double crochet here. Just like we did at the beginning, we started with a single crochet into that double. And that will end row 4, and that will end the repeat rows. Now you just continue repeating rows 3 and 4. Remember, they are pretty much the same, except for one row you start and finish with a single crochet, and the next row you start and finish with the half shell, and you just keep repeating those until you get to your desired size. And after a few repeats, it starts to look like this. I really like it. It's got lots of nice texture. It's so pretty. You know what, I'm going to show you, I think we'll do something. If you want to straighten off the top, let me show you what you could do here. I think maybe we'll do something other than just single crochet across the top, like I said. So you could say you got it as big as you want it to be, and you want to straighten off the top, although I think the top looks great the way it is. Some people will want it straight if you want to put a border or something on a blanket. Let's try it out by chaining 1 and turning our work. So I said we could do single crochet all the way across, but instead of that, why don't we go ahead and put a, okay, remember this is the final edging row if you want to straighten off the top. After you repeat 3 and 4 for your desired size. We'll go ahead and half double. If you ended in a single crochet row, like this one, put a half double there, all right? But if you ended in a double crochet row, put a single there. Doesn't really matter what row you end on, it's just like that. And then let's single crochet into the double crochet and into the chain 1 spaces across. Let's see if we can get this straightened out. 1 single into the doubles of the shell and 1 single into the chain 1 space of the shell. And then when you get down here to the single crochet from the previous row, let's half double crochet into that. Let's see if that straightens that out good enough that we can put a border on it. Yeah, I think that'll be just fine. So what I'm doing just to straighten out the top is putting a single crochet into each of the doubles and the chain one spaces of the shells, and then a half double in the single crochets from the previous row. And it may not be completely straight, but it should be straight enough that you'll be able to put a nice border on it if that's what you choose to do, if you're making a blanket. Or like I said, you don't even have to do this. It looks pretty the way it is with a slight wave at the top. But yeah, that's what I would do to straighten it. And here I am coming up to the single crochet. Since it dips down just a bit, I'm going to do a half double there into that. And that's, I think, what I would do to, you can do something different if you want, but yeah, I think that's what I would do to straighten it off, if you want to. But that is it. I hope that you enjoyed my video. I hope that you were able to follow along. Okay. If you make something out of this, I'd really love to see a picture. I actually have a top made out of this. If I remember, I'll put a link to the tutorial below, if I remember. If not, you can always find it on my channel. I have everything neatly organized in a playlist. So many tutorials. I have anything that you could ever want to make, and multiples of them. So I do hope that you do check them out. Maybe you'll find something cool that you want to make. And as always, if you did enjoy, please hit that like button. Maybe that subscribe button, so you don't miss out on any of my other videos and tutorials. And leave me a comment below if you feel like it. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, take care. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye-bye.